How's it going? I've been noticing that Mini Masters doesn't have a lot of resources to help out new players, so I decided I'm going to make some guides and information. Feel free to join the Discord in the description. My friends and I can answer some questions for you there, or hit me up on my stream. The link would also be in the description for that. So, as you can see, I started a new account for the purposes of this series. I'm going to be playing for free on this account. Not going to spend any money on it. Even if I do get rubies, I'm not going to spend them. And then I'll show you my thought process in the beginning as a experienced player going over what a new player would be experiencing. If there's anything else you want me to cover, let me know in the comments and I'll get to it. I hope you all enjoy. And so let's look at a deck we can make. Well, first I'm going to look at what masters are available for me. So I have Stormbringer and Volcano and Ratbow are free this week. I don't like Ratbow. I think he's just kind of weaker than other masters. But Volcano, on the other hand, he's a man. So his first talent tier gives him a firebolt. So it puts a little symbol on one of the bridges. Whenever you control that bridge, it will shoot that firebolt at the enemy master's tower and deal 60 damage to it. So a deck that works really well for him is a low-cost minion cycle deck. So you just keep cycling through a whole bunch of minions, maintaining bridge control, and every time you play one, you do damage to the enemy's base. He also has Burn the Bridges, which is insanely strong. What Burn the Bridges allows you to do is it's a spell that it puts in your hand. It's 0 cost, but as it says on the actual card there, it does 200 damage over 5 seconds, so that's, however much DPS that is. That's 40 DPS. Did it. Math. So the big finisher that I'm going to show you all for this is tier 3. All friendly melee minions have rage. That is insanely strong. Rage is just, as it says, a 50% damage increase for all your melee minions. It's a very big game finisher. So, alright, let's look at what all I have. What low cost minions do I have? We don't really want to be looking at too many things over 4 cost. So if I can, I want to get rid of couple of these cards that are in the higher cost range. Okay, so we have a Demon Warrior. This will be very good for this type of deck. Every time you play her, she gets a stack, and then once you play her for the 5th time, she gains triple health and damage, which is obviously very strong. And then with Volcano's tier 3 rage thing, she'll be hitting for 450 damage. That's a lot. But until you get the Demon Warrior to the level 5, she's kind of worse than the Warrior, which is just 3 mana and does what you need that kind of card to do. She has a lot of health, decent damage, 35 DPS is pretty good. I'm gonna be taking out, let's see, I'm gonna be taking out Cleaver and putting in Demon Warrior. I don't really like the Legionnaires in here. Let's see what we can craft. So we can't craft anything that's rare. We can only craft commons, but that's okay. Tons of common cards in this deck. So what I'm looking at, things that I want, I'd really like to get Propeller Scrat in here. Having a flying unit that does decent damage is pretty good. So Propeller Scrat, it gives you 3 Scrats that are flying in the air. And as you can see, each of the Scrats has 10 DPS, which isn't a lot, but there's 3 of them. So that's a 2-mana card that has 30 DPS, and it's flying. As we looked at the other guy, the Warrior had 35 DPS, and it was 3 mana. So, and not flying. They both serve different purposes. The Warrior takes damage. The whole purpose of them is to not take damage, to get as much value without them ever being hit. The reason I would like these a lot is if I go up against a Harbinger, it's going to be hard to take it out with the things that are currently in my deck. So I'm going to go ahead and craft the Propeller Scrats. Other things I'd really like to have in this deck, Grenadier is really good. It's a cheap mana, cheap minion that does good AoE damage. It doesn't hit air, but that's alright. Another thing that I'd really like is Elite Swarmer. It's pretty much a lower cost warrior, and it has quite a bit less stats for 1 less mana. In our type of deck, this will work a lot better than a warrior, but I'll probably end up running both. We will see. So I'm going to take out the Legionnaires and put in my Propeller Scrats. We want to keep getting this number as low as possible. So next things I'm probably going to, I don't know, Stun Lancers are very strong at taking out anything that you need Like if you a dragon, they can help you with that. So if a cleaver's running at them, they will be able to stun the cleaver before it actually hits them. So that's something to think about. Let's buy our starting power tokens. Shock Rock is a pretty good spell. If you want to do a Miloine deck, it's very strong in Miloine. It's very strong against things that have a slow attack speed, like Harbingers or Colossus. You time it to where like a Harbinger is about to strike, and then you throw a Shock Rock on it, which will stun it for 2 seconds, and then it has to wind up for 2.5 more seconds or however long it takes it to attack. I'm thinking what I'm going to go for next is the wall. The reason I'd go for this over other things, especially the Volcano, is you'll see me use it. I'll put it on a bridge, and then I'll burn the bridges. So it'll trap all of the enemy's minions that are on that bridge there for the full duration of burn the bridges, and I'll be able to build up my ranged units and push behind the wall as the enemy units have died. So for it, I'm going to take out the spear throwers. They're good, not my favorite card. The rest of the deck, I'm really liking the cards in here. Swarmers are good. Crossbow dudes, I really like. Dragon Whelp is a card you'll be using tons and tons of, as well as Sniper Scrad. Both of these cards are very strong, as well as Warrior and Stun Lancers. These 4 are kind of a staple in a lot of decks. Fireball is one of the best spells because it can kill, I don't know how many clerics you fought against, but if you've ever fought against a cleric, it kills a cleric. It also hits air and ground, better than it just hitting ground. Alright, so we'll go on. I'll talk more about it once we actually get into the game. Okay, so as I'm starting, I'm thinking that I want to play these crossbow dudes in the middle. So whenever you're hovering over a card, you'll see that there's this line in the middle. If you play a minion, like if I play the crossbow dudes, you'll see one goes top and the other goes bottom. And then I'll play it on my wall so that it hits the wall instead of my crossbow dude, because it would just instantly kill my crossbow dude. And these swarmers have pretty good DPS, so what I'm doing is I am putting them on the back of it. And now I'm trying to figure out what my opponent is doing. I'm looking at their cards. They're playing 2 buildings whenever they didn't really need to, so either they're not that experienced. Okay, so with this deck, every time I see Demon Warrior in my hand, I want to play that as soon as I possibly can. If I'm in a spot where I really can't play it right now, don't worry about playing it. But if you can, if you have another option, if Demon Warrior is in your hand, and let's say you have another option of a card you can play that would work well there, just get a little bit more mana, play Demon Warrior. You have to get it going, or else there's no point in playing Demon Warrior. I'm going to go ahead and use my wall here again, and let those minions hit it, and I am just playing it. And as you see, every time I play minion, look across at that firebolt that just shoots across the screen there. It's good. Have the Stun Lancer stun that so they don't take damage, and then I have these guys up top there just taking care of business. Yes, that's what I said. So I had Demon Warrior in my hand, next card I played, just like that. I don't think this game is going to go for until I get Demon Warrior all the way. So my Warrior wouldn't win that fight, so I'm burning the bridges, making it to where it would win that fight. So the Mana Puff is going to go down there and take that bridge. My Dragon Whelp, I guess, is on it. Alright, Demon Warrior's back in my hand. Going to go for that again. He's playing a lot of buildings. That's kind of the thing with this deck. Maintain both the bridges as much as you can. XP for Volcano will be very important. Because you need to get your perks. Each one of your perks is very powerful. Having them just awesome. Let's see if I can save that sniper. I was able to save the sniper. So this guy doesn't hit air, so I'm just going to put my propeller scrats on him. Go for Stun Lancers over there. I just need to play 2 more cards, and I win, because I'm hitting him with fire bolts. So next card I play, I win the game. That's something on my thought process going through there. Alright, I have Demon Warrior in my starting hand. Gonna play Demon Warrior. It's easy as that. See what he plays first. Demon Warrior is not gonna win against that. So I'm gonna play Demon Warrior and then Fireball. That will cycle it. It'll put Demon Warrior in the back of my deck and then put Fireball behind him. So it raises Demon Warrior up 1 more card, so I have to play 1 less card before Demon Warrior is in my hand again. I don't know if that made sense or not, but it was very smart, I promise you. put it in the middle there, so they would each go to different lane. Demon Warrior's back in my hand. Gonna play Demon Warrior. I'm gonna go ahead and fireball that. I'm able to hit their base, deal some damage to their base, and stop what they had going on. I'm gonna get rid of their spears on that wall there. Demon Warrior's back in my hand. We'll get Volcano to help us out over here. He does lots of damage, so I'm gonna see if I can get them to go on the bridges while there's still a fight going on over here. Gotta get that XP going. As you can see, he's beating me in XP right now. All right, I'm gonna save up for my fireball. Go ahead and fireball that. Let's see which lane he's going to. I'm thinking he's gonna go bottom now. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead, play those. Now he's on the bridge. I'm gonna burn the bridges, put down a wall. I'm gonna. Oh, it almost got it top lane. Volcano, I think, will be able to take that out before it actually reaches the base. Right, yes. So I'm gonna play Demon Warrior. I know it's not, right now isn't the best time to play Demon Warrior because I had a whole bunch of stuff going to my base, but I think with Volcano it would work out, and playing the Demon Warrior is just worth it. See, Volcano's just chugging through all the minions. Fireball that. Alright, big boy is here. It's cool. Let's see if, okay, now watch this. Bop. Beep. It's as easy as that. That was a 7 mana card. That warrior thing that he played was 7 mana, and our Demon Warrior, which is 5 mana, just took it out in like 3 hits. Now I'm tier 3, all my guys are raged, and now you will see the true power. And it's dead. And like, watch down here at his base. Bam. 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 As soon as I get a Demon Warrior on their base, that's it. 5 Demon Warrior with tier 3. That's it. I don't know if everyone starts with Demon Warrior. I don't know if that was just me. But I did. If you do too, I'd recommend going for a deck like this. I could easily see this deck, maybe not this exact one. I'd change out a few of the minions once I got more stuff, and I'll show that, and I'll show the final version of what I would go for here in a second. The downsides of this deck is if you're trying to climb a lot, it's a very powerful deck, but the games take a while. And a while meaning 3 to 5 minutes. Your win condition is tier 3 and a tier 5 Demon Warrior. It's going to take a bit for you to win the game, but hey, it's very strong. Counters to this deck, things you need to watch out for. Harbingers are going to be strong against you. I was hoping we'd fight against one so I could show you how to deal with it. But what you do to deal with it is stop playing things, wait for it to get to your side of the field. Once it's on your side of the field, try and get a Sniper Scrat shooting at it. If you already played your Sniper Scrat, Propeller Scrats. It's a 2 mana thing, hits it for 30 DPS, and the Harbinger has to get through 3 minions, which will take it forever. And Fireball is going to be good for that as well. Dragon Whelp. Same as Propeller Scrat there, but it's only one thing, so Harbinger will take it out pretty quick. Your answer to things like people running lots of Colossus, Dragon Whelp, and Propeller Scrat. They can't hit up, so what you do against the Colossus is put Propeller Scrats, maybe not at the same time, because if they have like a Chain Lightning or Fireball, you don't want both of your answers to get taken out at the same time. Sniper Scrat can take it out from afar. So Colossus can't head up. If they put things behind it, go ahead and Fireball them. And then put down your people. Put down your Propeller Scrat and Dragon Whelp. Stun Lancers, I wasn't talking too much about them because I'm pretty sure I cut them from my deck in the other version. They would be really good against all sorts of things. You're going to be going against some dragons. And dragons are scary, but not for this deck. This deck stomps dragons. Once you get tier 5 Demon Warrior with Rage, that's like 4 hits and a dragon's dead. The Demon Warrior 1v1's a dragon. It's very strong. Now, if you're struggling with big things, I would recommend going for a Haunting Hunger here. It's only a rare. I mean, I know it's 125 shards, but, you know, what it does is it gives the target Cursed. Cursed is very strong against things like Colossus. Colossus can't hit up, Haunting Hunger's a flying unit. It curses it, does 3% of its max health every second. That's a lot of DPS against a Colossus. It pretty much, as long as you're able to stall long enough, this will take out the Colossus. Same thing with Troubadours. I don't know how many Troubadours you'll be going up against. This thing shreds Troubadours. So if that's something you've been encountering a lot and it's been really frustrating to you, this would be a good answer for that. Okay, here we are at my ultimate version of the deck that I would run in my games. So crossbow dudes still in there, good anti-air, hunting hunger as I was talking to you before. It's a good answer to some big things. So heal puff I put in there because we're wanting to make it to late game. It's gonna sometimes it's gonna come down to just having that little bit of extra health that it's gonna be able to supply. Layle's Vortex is an amazing spell. It is an epic, so if you can get that, that would be great. Um, it's just so good at just everything it does. Especially Demon Warrior, if they play down a Scrat Pack around it, Demon Warrior will take a lot of damage and a lot of time getting through that. But if you Layle's Vortex, it'll kill all the Scrats. Stint is another different card that I put in here. It's high health, ranged minion, especially for 2 mana. And it has 22.8 DPS. That's a lot. It has good speed, so even if you don't play it right with the push, it's able to catch up. It's also a card that if I'm making a push bot lane, I would play it top lane. If I need to take a bridge, I'd play it top lane. Because it's able to take out most things. It takes out crossbow dudes. I don't remember if it takes out Plasma Marines, but I'd like to say yes. I think it does. It's strong. Another difference, Shock Rock. I put Shock Rock in place of Firebolt. It's a much more, well, it's cheaper, which is something I'm really looking for this deck. And so you're able to use it for the same purposes that I was talking about earlier, where if a Harbinger is about to strike, you hit it with a Shock Rock, it resets its attack, and you go about your business there. Same thing with Colossus. It'll enable the Demon Warrior, once it's level 5, to be able to take out the Colossus. It kills Scrats, so as I was talking about before with the Layla's Vortex, this will also help you take out a lot of the little things people will stuff in front of your Demon Warrior that'll enable it to not be able to reach the base. Now, Defenso Chopper has to be one of the strongest cards in the game, in my opinion. It doesn't really have damage on its own. What it has to rely on is its effect up here. Anytime a melee minion hits it, it does 75 damage as a counter damage and stuns them for 3 seconds. That is so strong, especially with Volcano, and because Propeller Scrats are melee, even though they're flying, so you don't have to get your ranged minions to be able to take them out. You could play Defenso Chopper. They would take 10 damage from each Scrat, which is nothing for a minion with 500 health. Another good thing I would use this for is if you see your opponent playing Dragon Whelp or Shadow Whelp, those are melee as well. So it takes them out. It's very good against, as I was saying, Scrats. It'll take out Warriors. It'll take out any melee unit, almost any. That's why even though bumps up my cost of my whole deck by a good amount, I'm running it anyways because it adds a lot of utility to a deck like this. Instead of Layle's Vortex, what I would put in there, I think I'd probably go for Elite Swarmer. Really serves the same purpose as Layle's Vortex. It is a very useful spell. I don't think I actually talked about what it did, but it's pretty much not a black hole. That's an actual card. It's like a field, a vortex, if you will. Maybe a vortex. That pulls things to the center, and it does more damage based on how close to the center things are. You can use it to pull your Demon Warrior closer to the enemy's base. Like if they're struggling, if they're like playing a whole bunch of little things, keeping it away from their base, you could Layle's Vortex, pull your Demon Warrior close to their base, and then the Demon Warrior, you kill the little things, and then the Demon Warrior is right next to their base, and then it just starts smacking their base. And also, I'm not using any wild cards in this deck. I don't want to put extra cards in the way of getting to my Demon Warrior. Wild cards, you're able to put 2 of them in any deck, and they give you a copy of that card. So let's say I wanted to get 2 Propeller Scrats in my deck. I would go to my Propeller Scrat, left click it, puts an extra copy. If I want a 3rd Propeller Scrat in my deck, I would click it again, and I'd be able to put another one in my deck. So how you would get a wild card is if you only have 1 copy, which means if my if this number here was only 2 and not 20, I would only be able to put in 1. So, because that means I only have 1 copy of Propeller Scrat. It's kind of confusing. If you want another one, you would just click Promote, which would give you another one of the cards. Simple as that. Alright, so I'll play a game with this deck. I am in Diamond 1, so you'll be able to see how this deck holds up in the higher ranks. Alright, we have Demon Warrior in our hand. Gonna want to play that. This guy doesn't hit air. Go ahead and send some Propeller Scrats at him. I want to take top bridge, put down our little drone boy. He'll take care of that. I'm gonna Lail's Vortex here. Our boy Volcano can't attack air, so just something we gotta be careful of. Gonna see if I can squeeze them out of the way so the warrior attacks the wall instead of my boys. Alright, we're facing a Harbinger now. We'll get to see our cards in action. So we're not playing anything, waiting for him to come to our side of the field. I don't really want to be wasting mana. Let's wait for him to get a bit closer, and then I'll play it. So instead of going for him... Oh, shit! Okay, so as you saw, instead of shock rocking the Harbinger, I shock rocked the tombstone there. Why I did that is because it would have rezzed the Harbinger. It would have rezzed the Harbinger there. And not really what we want. So we're in a bad spot right now. So I'm going to go ahead and play that stuff. See if I can get this stint to take out that drone buzzer. And now nothing he has here can hit air. So I'm going to go ahead and play that. We need to make up some of what we've lost here. So I'm going to need to... Oh shit, man. He played another Harbinger. Alright, so there I used the Lail's Vortex to pull away the things that would have killed my units that were taking out the Harbinger. Alright, I'm assuming he'll play... Yeah, he played that top lane. And so I'm going to go ahead and put a healing puff bot lane. I need to get health. Alright, so now is when I do the Harbinger. Try and kill this Stint instead of the Harbinger first. So I res the Stint instead of the Harbinger. Alright, it got rezzed. Yeah, he just has a shit ton of air stuff. I'm just gonna go for that. As soon as the Harbinger targets something else, I'm gonna go with my boys down here, and that should be able to take out all of that. Healing Puff's doing work over there, getting my health back up, and I think we might be able to stabilize here. Alright, I'm gonna wait for this to get to the bridges. So, as I was saying before, the Fenso Chopper will be able to take out those, burn that guy. And that's how that works. See, he's having to use all his rezzing stuff, and then he tries to do that. I shock rocket, stopping it from attacking. I'll get these guys back on the bridge again. Yeah, could have been better for me. I made him res a... he has 2 Harbingers out now, which is exciting, of course. Gonna get my wall there. Gotta get crossbow dudes. Gonna get that. And then Demon Warrior just got on his base and we won. So yeah, that game really showcased what this deck can do, why each card is important in it, and showed you how I would play it. And yeah, I didn't play perfectly, but because I haven't played this deck in a while, so I don't know. I'm not entirely used to it yet, but I think I did all right. I mean, I won, so. um, what our opponent had that made it really challenging for us was the Harbingers. Harbingers are always challenging for this deck, but I think I dealt with them really well there and showcased how to deal with them. The Dragon Whelp, that's good against us. ATG drone are those are just drone buzzers. Drone buzzers are very good against us. Propeller scrats are good against, not very good against us, but they are good against us. Propeller scrat and Dragon Whelp, pretty easy to deal with this deck. But once they started adding in the drone buzzers, that was where they really got us. I think the brothers, the drone buzzers and this cannon roller. Once I started learning how to deal with the cannon roller, paying attention to it, we did a lot better. Um, which was putting down the wall and then just save and burn the bridges for that cannon roller, because that was the only really big ground unit I noticed he had as he kept going through his deck. Yeah, I think that kind of showed it. I think this deck's very good for beginners. I'll cover another one using Stormbringer because, well, he's who you start with, so it makes sense. Thanks for watching. If there's anything else you want me to cover or anything different you'd like me to do in these videos in the future, please let me know in the comments. I am new at this. I'd appreciate some patience with that, and I hope you help me improve as well. Thanks, and bye.